Hello my lovelies! Today I'm going to be taking you through my setup for November in my bullet journal. This month's theme is mushrooms, and I came up with it using my new technique on how to come up with a bullet journal theme. I've just put a video out of that today because I think it's going to help quite a few people. I don't know about anybody else, but every month I start thinking, I need to come up with a new theme and I don't know what I want it to be, and I don't want to spend ages coming up with something that I'm then not really happy with. So I've worked out a way to easily come up with a theme, and it's a process that I can just repeat every month. So I'll make sure that I leave a link to that video in the description and in the icon. I've included 5 different weekly setups in this Plan With Me video because I'm getting a little bit bored of the one that I'm using. It works well, but I'm just getting a bit bored of it. I hate having the same thing in my journal every single month. So I'm testing out some new different ones, and I'm going to see how they all sort of work for me, if they do work, if they don't work. And I'm just really looking forward to finding out if there's one that's more fun to use than the others. I also wanted to mention the new pens that I'm using to set up this spread. I'm so pleased with them. Arteza sent them to me, and I've done a review of them. It's in my Coming Up With a Bullet Journal theme video, and usually my go-to pen is the Tombow for adding highlights or anything like that, all the extra little bits, the bits in your journal that you add a bit of colour and flair. I usually go for my Tombows because they're just you see everybody using them, and they're just really good. They are really good, but they are expensive. They're so expensive, and when you haven't got a lot of money, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on pens. Well, I kind of do. I always want to spend money on pens and notebooks and stationery and paper, and I have a problem. I'm sure you all do too. We should all come together and unite over our strange stationery obsessions. I don't know what I'm talking about. These Arteza pens work just like a Tombow, but they're a fraction of the price. You have to buy them in bulk, so it's a bigger payout at the offset, but you get more than twice the amount of pens that you would for the same price of a Tombow. The only thing I wish is that it would be great if they had just some slightly more pastel colours. So I'll still be using my Tombows from my pastel packs and the sort of the grayscale CAC. The grayscale pack. I've just got completely sidetracked from my narration because I keep listening to the way I said pack on repeat. It sounds really weird. Listen. Pack. Okay, I'm going to stop messing about now and just get on with this narration. I wanted to first off say thank you to all of the people that left comments in my last video. They were kind and heartwarming and reassuring and relatable, and I just wanted to thank everybody for being so kind. Yes, it's not a subject that people talk about very often, and yes, I do believe that it should be talked about more often. If you haven't seen the last video, I'm talking about depression and dark places, very dark places in your mind. So in this month's video, I really wanted to be feeling 100% better so that I could be like not a role model, but an inspiration to other people that are feeling the same way. Because if I was feeling so low, and then a month of trying really hard to make myself feel better, and I do, then it means everybody else can do it too, and it's wonderful, and hopefully I could uplift other people. But unfortunately, that's just not the way it is. I still would like to be an inspiration to everybody, because I'm not going to let it beat me. I'm not going to give up. Not at all, and I feel like I'm making progress. So although I'm not feeling 100% better, I definitely feel like I'm moving in the right direction. So I wanted to share some of the things I've been doing this month to improve my mental health, and I really do feel like it's working. Each thing is That's something I'm trying to do every day. Some days I miss things, some days I don't, but I'm going to go through everything with you, and hopefully one of the suggestions will help you feel at least slightly better. The first thing that I felt very strongly this month when being kinder to myself, I made it a real priority to be kind to myself. And the first thing that I realized would be very, very kind to myself would be to not be so hard on myself when I feel sad. And it's not just a case of being hard on myself, it's a case of letting my brain panic. And I'm in control of my brain, I'm in control of my thoughts, so I can stop them from panicking. It's going to take a lot of practice, and I said in the last video, feels like there's two sides of me, where one wants to go this way and be productive and fantastic and happy, and the other one just doesn't want to get out of bed. And I started reading a book called The Chimp Paradox, the Mind Management Program for Confidence, Success and Happiness, and it's by Dr. Steve Peters, and I recommend it to everybody. It explains that two-sidedness to yourself, where one of you wants to be great and the other one just seems to be holding you back, and it gives you practical ways to fight back. That voice that's saying, I don't want to do it, I'm too lazy, I'm this, that and the other, it's not a real voice, it's not your authentic self. I don't want to make it sound fluffy and airy-fairy, because it's not. It's all based on science. This guy is a big fancy scientist man that's been doing research and stuff, but he puts it all in layman's terms, and there's graphs and systems in place to help you understand exactly what he's saying so that you can get the most benefit out of it. Just thought I'd add that in there because I really think that book's fantastic. And if you are suffering with depression, please go and read it, please. Just from reading, the first few chapters, I feel so much more hope, because I seem to be able to have the possibility to be able to control my thoughts, which is the most important thing to me at the minute. I think more so than anything else, I need to focus on controlling my own thoughts, because that's where my feelings come from. And I'm not very good at controlling my thoughts. I didn't realize it was something that I could do. I thought they just ran about and I had to accept which ones came in my head, but it's not like that. I tend to grab sad thoughts much quicker than I would grab happy thoughts, and I think it's because I'm so practiced in repeating the same pattern of, I'm a depressed person, so this must be depression, and I start really exaggerating all these feelings in my head because I'm panicking about how bad it might get. I'm not panicking about, oh, this is a sad feeling right now. I'm panicking about, oh my god, this is the start of depression again, and I'm going to be in that dark place again, and I don't know what to do about it, and what's going to happen. And it's just, I might just be sad. Maybe something happened and it just made me feel sad. That doesn't mean I'm depressed. It's just I'm a normal person who experienced a sad situation and that made me feel sad. And I feel much better for it. It's like I've taken off the depression costume and put on it's like a change of costume. I can be happy, I can be sad, and I can be anxious and I can be stressed, but I can also be comforted and relaxed. And it's not about I'm a depressed person anymore. It's about I am a person who is trying to gain control of the feelings that I don't like. I'm not depressed. I'm experiencing feelings that I don't like, and I'm having trouble altering how I'm thinking about them. This is how I've reframed it all, and it is helpful. So the flip side of the panic of depression for me is a feeling of comfort. If I start feeling sad and I start to hide away and don't leave the house so much and live in my head and keep to myself, it's quite a comforting feeling because I've felt it so many times before. It's almost a state that I live in sort of 60-70% of the time, so it's comforting to me. It feels like home. And I think one of the problems I've had is that if I manage to control my sad feelings and thoughts and I get a better handle on my emotions, I'm not going to be feeling in that sort of sad, comforting place. You know, like how you've done these emotions before, you've felt sad before, you've done them 1,000 times before. It almost takes the pressure off of, I have to be happy, I have to be happy. You don't have to try and achieve that state of constant Instagram happiness. It's just stressful. So when I do go back to the sadness, it's like, this is much easier. This is much easier than trying to be happy all the time. And it's easier because being happy all the time isn't possible. It's not possible. I'm striving for something that is unrealistic and stressing myself out way more than I need to. So that's the first thing I've come to the conclusion of. It's okay to be sad. It doesn't mean I'm going to be depressed. It just means that I'm a normal person with sad feelings. Like my little hamster died this month. And I know that sounds silly because it's just a hamster, but he's old. I've had him for a long time. I mean, Ridley's 3 now, and I got him before I had Ridley. I think it was when I was early stages of pregnancy. So he was an old little man, and I loved him. We knew he was poorly, but he died in my hands, and it was nice because I felt like I was with him in his last moments and stuff, and I was quite upset about it, obviously. But I didn't grab onto those feelings of, all the things that go through your head. I'm never going to have a hamster like him again. If you've never had a hamster, you don't know, okay? They're their own lovely, beautiful little souls, and he was so cute. But I'm not sad like I have been before in losing a pet. And yes, it might just be because it's a hamster, but I think it's more because I was prepared for it. I knew he was dying. And so this month, I said to myself, he's going to die this month. It's going to happen. And I can either panic about it and be upset about it and worry about it, or I can enjoy him while he's here and then just let him go and not ruminate on those sad thoughts. I hope I'm making sense talking about bloody hamster. Just don't grab onto those horrible thoughts. I let him go, and I thought, I've been so grateful to have all this time with him. He's died in my hands. I got to be with him when he went, and I'm just so grateful for the experience of having him rather than being upset about losing him. So I am getting better at reframing situations, and that's just one example of that. Earlier this month, I was watching Peaky Blinders. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It is great. But there was a part in it that really, really stood out to me. And the main character was going through a really tough time. He was feeling really depressed. And the maid said, do you think I should go and get someone something, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I know what this is. It's just myself talking to myself about myself. And it really, really hit home because I thought that's what I do. I'm just talking about myself to myself and not being very nice. So another rule I've got this month, that I formed this month, is just don't think about it. If it's something that I have to think about because it's a problem that needs to be solved, then that's different. But worrying and upsetting myself for the sake of upsetting myself isn't going to help. So if I start having those thoughts, it's a case of, just don't think about it. Why am I thinking about it? And I try really hard to think about something else. Sometimes it's easier said than done because I'm not practiced in having control of my thoughts. So it comes back. And sometimes I feel like I have to go back and check on the thought, like, is that thought still there? Does it still hurt? Is it safe to go and think that thought now? And I just sort of feel like I have to check it. And I'm like, why? Why am I doing that to myself? So that's another 2 things. Just don't think about it and don't go back and check on the thought. Because yes, Elyse, it probably is going to still make you feel crappy. So leave it alone. Put it down. Okay, so to sum up, number 1, read The Chimp Paradox by Steve Peters. Just do it. Get control of your own thoughts, and just realize that you can get control of your own thoughts. There is a way to do it, and once you've done it, you'll be better. And also, I'm having to remember that, like, Tristan will, bless him, God love him, if he can't do something straight away, he's decided he can't do it. Say like he's got some maths homework and he can't get the answer straight away. He's just decided, I can't do it. I can't do it, so I can't do it. And it's, I have to say to him, Tristan, you can't do it because you haven't learned how to do it yet. That's normal. Not everybody can magically do things straight away. Some people are gifted in certain areas and some people need to work a little bit harder in them. And then I thought, sheesh, why am I not taking my own advice? I mean, some people are just naturally very positive and great at looking, at the bright side, and I do try to do that, but I haven't learned how to do it effectively. So I've decided I'm just not good at it. I'm just not that sort of person. But in reality, it's not that. It's just I haven't been taught how to do it. So that book is a really great way to teach you how to do it. The next thing is be kinder to yourself when you are feeling sad. Don't decide if you're feeling sad that it's the end of the world and it's the start of a really bad depression. You might just be sad, and having a tracker in your bullet journal like I have that tells you about your mood and your productivity and how much sleep you had and this, that and the other. For me, it's a great way to look back and gain some perspective. I also have my how I'm feeling page so that I can look back at it and go, well, all this month if I have a bad day, I'm like, this has been a terrible month, because I'm just remembering all the bad bits. Whereas if I go back to my bullet journal, I realise I had good days. I don't know why I've forgotten them, but I did have good days. And I think it's just because I'm not focusing on the good stuff as much as I'm focusing on the bad stuff, because I'm worried about the bad stuff. So having a tracker like that to gain a little bit of perspective is really, really helpful. The next thing is to just not think about it. Easier said than done, but actually it's not. Unless you've got a really, really valid reason for thinking about something, you don't have to think about it. You can control it. The last thing is, don't go back to check on the thought. If you've done it before, you understand what I'm talking about, just don't do it anymore. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you probably don't have that problem, so don't worry about it. So hopefully you'll find some of those suggestions helpful. I haven't got a handle on all of them yet, but I'm working towards having a handle on them, and I really feel like it's working. Even just trying, I feel like it's working. A bonus tip, use music. I've just got myself a Spotify account. I say just, but this month I got myself a Spotify account, and I forgot how much I love music and how good music is at changing your mood. So now I've got a morning playlist for those mornings where I'm feeling really sluggish and just bleh. Then I can put that music on and just enjoy it and feel better. And if I don't feel energized after listening to an energetic playlist, at least I've enjoyed the music. And if I do, then that's a bonus. So music. The other thing was, if you saw my November sneak peek and you found that it's disappeared, I am sorry. It was for my patrons and I completely forgot to change the setting to unlisted. I'm sorry, I've done it again. But anybody who left comments, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Speaking of comments, sometimes I'm not very good at replying to comments, but I do read every single one of them. A lot of the time I really want to reply, but I feel like to make the reply authentic and mean something, I need to put some energy into it and some emotion and some thought, which I think everybody deserves if you've taken the time to comment. But I don't always have the energy and thought power to do that, and I don't want to be inauthentic. But just know that I am reading your comments and I am enjoying them, and they're making me feel better, and I send all my love to you, and I'm so grateful for all of you. That's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to this channel and leave a comment if you fancy, and I'll try and reply. So I wish you all a very happy November. I'm sorry this video is out, so close to the end of the month. Hasn't given you, much time, but I was procrastinating putting it out because I wanted this video to be fantastic, and you know, especially after the last one. And then I thought, I just got to be me and just do it and hope that you like it. So here it is. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.